Customer value is very, very subjective.
Okay.
One is because customer value may be what the customer needs or wants, and another value could be what the company wants to give it. And for us as Frytol as a brand, I think the key factor that has been for us is wanting to know who our customer is.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense trying to promote a brand or trying to build a brand unless you know your customer or you know your consumer. And consumer here, we mean everyone involved in the whole process, whether it's the trade, whether it's the actual consumer in the home. So one of the key factors for us has been to know what the consumer wants, what they need. Research. We do research on a daily basis. We have what we do as a dipstick study. We do international studies as well in terms of consumers. We have to appreciate consumers are different, but at the same time, globally, and especially in an African context, we all tend to be the same. One is that Frytol, luckily, is a brand with a very high brand equity. It's a brand that has been here for 25 years, a brand with heritage. So it's coming in already with a rubber stamp from the consumer. What we need to do is to be able to modernize the brand, take it a step further, to be able to explain to them as to how does this change with their times. So in some way, we're lucky that the brand already came in. We're as an international company, represented in over 50 countries in the world with close to 90,000 employees. And one thing I can tell you is staff move around. And as they move around, they carry the same culture. So you will not find a person working in China very different from the person working in Uganda. And I'm sure that's the same thing with Golden Tulip and most of the companies everybody else is working with. So we do ensure that that culture carries across. But what we tend to do is what you call localization, because every country is different. And the first thing that must come up is the local values, the local cultures of the country we represent.
Such as?
Like in Ghana. I mean, one of the things that coming into Ghana, which is not something very different from most countries, in terms of the friendliness, knowing simple things like you don't start shaking across hands when you're meeting people, you don't start with the left, you start with the right. So those are the things that even right down to the salesman, it is embedded, whether you're a local or an expatriate. So as they meet the customer, those are things you take note of. If it's honesty that the company is embedded, the brand has to be honest, very similar to what Louis said. Those are cultures that come in from an organization and carry through to the brand. We definitely want to retain the super brand title. It's key for us. It represents the success of the brand, and we just want to continue listening to the customer, to the consumer, understand their needs, understand their wants. And Frytol as a brand today already reaches out to 280 women groups on a daily basis across Ghana. Whether it's the churches, whether it's the hairdressers, whether it's women pilots, we try and reach out to all these women on a daily basis to understand their needs. And the brand assures that it will try and make sure that it will deal with all the wants and needs in the kitchen of the consumer.